You've carved out some time from your busy day. You've got your pen, ink, and paper laid out on your desk, and you can't wait to start writing. But what should you actually write? Today, I'll walk you through 2 ways to create an endless supply of inspiration for your calligraphy practice, art, or for those moments when you need a few positive words to brighten your day. When I first started regularly using the practices I'm going over today, it had nothing to do with learning calligraphy or lettering. It was about building some positive habits around thoughtfulness and reflection into my day, which is why I think anybody can benefit from this practice. Years later, when I started learning calligraphy, I realized that I'd inadvertently amassed an incredible resource of writing inspiration. So when I'd sit down to learn and practice, it was always fun because I had so many things I was eager to write. I believe that what you write is an important part of learning that isn't mentioned much in the context of building calligraphy or lettering skills. In my experience, writing meaningful or fun stuff that you connect with is a source of both motivation and creativity. Think about it like this. Imagine you're sitting at your desk, ready to start a writing session to hone your skills or to create some art. In one case, you sit and write a few letters or common words and phrases over and over. The word minimum comes to mind. You've likely practiced a similar or the exact same sequence of letters and words dozens, if not hundreds of times. Your writing session becomes repetitive, and you eventually lose the motivation to continue. Alternatively, imagine you sit to write a passage from your favorite song or poem, or the meaningful words of an inspirational figure, character, or person in your life. As the ink forms each letter on the page, you connect with what you're writing. You're having fun. The minutes slip into hours as you conjure memories and ideas related to the words that flow onto the page. Now, I'm not saying that the fundamentals aren't important, because they are, but I believe that it's also important to infuse some fun and play into your practice. And one of the best ways to do this is to write what you personally connect with. So how can you create a versatile collection of inspiration that's always ready when you are? How can you avoid repetitive practice or wasting a bunch of time and energy searching the web every time you want to create? Let's dive in by first talking about sources of inspiration. Inspiration is literally everywhere. It doesn't need to come from Shakespearean literature or ancient philosophy. Of course it can. These are a couple of my favorite sources. It also doesn't have to be serious. It can be fun, sarcastic, funny, whatever you like. Actively look and listen. You may be surprised at some of the places where you can find this material. The next time you're watching a favorite show or movie, pay attention for little gems of dialogue. They're everywhere. Songs and poetry are filled with incredible lyrical compositions. Make note of your favorite complete works and favorite individual sentences and passages. This one's probably obvious, but books are a literal goldmine. Tons of my favorite quotes have come from books, including comic books. As a bonus suggestion, although these fall more in the category of entertaining and whimsical rather than inspirational, pangrams and random generators are a fun and unique source of inspiration. I'll include some links in the description. And if you need a boost to jumpstart your list, you can get a free ebook with a bunch of my favorite quotes and pangrams right now at blackletterfreebies.com. There's also another amazing source of inspiration that I'll save for a little bit later, so stay tuned. The key thing to remember here is wherever and whenever you find something that you enjoy, immediately make note of it. Record a voice memo, call yourself and leave a voicemail, type it into your phone, write it down on a napkin or a piece of paper and hang on to it. Whatever works for you, just capture it immediately and save it in a spot where you can find it later. The first approach we'll talk about for building your endless library of inspiration is for my fellow calligrapher friends who love all things analog. Get yourself a notebook. It can be as nice or as simple as you want. At the end of each day, week, or however frequently you want, write down every quote you've collected into this book. You can even make a goal for yourself, like finding at least one meaningful note a day. Write them as beautifully or as simply as you want. I tended to use fountain pens in a lot of different colors, but the focus here is to get all of the wonderful words of inspiration into your book. As the days, weeks, and months pass, your list will grow, and anytime you need something to write, all you have to do is flip to a random page or find something in your book that particularly inspires you at that moment. And the best part is that everything in this book will be particularly meaningful to you. So instead of trying to find one thing that you'd like to write, Your challenge will be to pick from your ever-growing library. Here are a couple of additional benefits that I've noticed this practice can have too. Throughout the day, you'll be extra attuned to positive and interesting messages, which itself has a general uplifting effect. You'll also develop a regular routine of reflecting on these meaningful messages while you copy them into your book, which can have a positive impact on mental health. Okay, let's move on to a really powerful digital approach for compiling your library of inspiration. If, like me, you want to be able to access your awesome library of inspiration absolutely anywhere and at any time, then this second approach is for you. The same tip about listening for and noting all the good stuff you see and hear still applies here. We're just going to add in that last inspirational source that I mentioned before, so that even if you're just starting today, you can build a huge list in just a few minutes. And the best part is, this is going to be super easy. We'll start by setting up a Goodreads account. We'll head over to goodreads.com. And then from here, you can either sign in if you already have an account, or sign up with an email address or any of these other options if you don't have an account already. I'm just going to go ahead and sign in because I already have an account. From the homepage, we'll go to Community and then Quotes. Here you'll find a list of thousands of quotes sorted in order of popularity, but you can also sort it using these other tabs here. You can move through this list from the top down, or you can search for a quote using a keyword or an author here. There's also an option to search for quotes by category. You can select any one of these categories here on the right side of the screen, or even search for a tag here. Now here's the trick. Anytime you see a quote that you like, tap the like button. I'm just going to go ahead and tap several of these. Now that you've gone through and liked a bunch of quotes, and again, you could spend as much time as you want going through all of these. There are literally thousands, I think hundreds of thousands of quotes stored in this database. So anytime you want to go check the list of all of the quotes that you've liked, if you're already in the quotes tab, you can click here on My Quotes, and it will take you to this list that you've got saved. If you start from the home screen and want to access that page, just go to your profile here in the top right, and then select Quotes here from this menu, and you'll get to the same page we were just at a second ago. On this page, you'll see that you can re-rank your quotes, you can move them up or down, or even remove a quote by clicking the X here in the top right corner if you'd like. Now you could stop here, but we're going to go ahead and take this one awesome step further. If I look up here in the top right corner of the screen, there's a link to export my quotes, and that's a really powerful tool. So if I click here, I'll be given the option to download my quotes as a CSV file. If I then navigate to where that file lives, right here, you'll see, if I even just do a quick preview, that it's downloaded every single quote. All it takes is a few likes and you can export this list, and it's got all sorts of information that comes along with it, like the author, the quote itself, and other tags that are related to it. Once you have this file, the real power is what you can do with it. You can open this in programs like Numbers, Excel, or even import it into online programs and databases like Notion, and do so much more with these files. If you create a file with a program like Excel or Numbers, you can actually save it to a cloud service like Dropbox or Google Drive, and then you'll be able to open the file anywhere at any time you want. One other quick note, you might notice some weird characters potentially in the file that you downloaded. If you run into this issue, I created a free template in Excel that you can download in my freebie pack at blackletterfreebies.com that will automatically remove all of those crazy characters in the text and give you a few other cool tools for working with your list. Let's take a quick look at how you can use this tool to work with your quotes. I'll start by opening the CSV file that we downloaded in Excel, and I'll also open the tool from my freebie pack, the Blackletter Treasure Trove. Once the file opens, if you click on this little plus sign here in the top, you'll see several columns open up that are highlighted in yellow. I'm going to go back to my original file that I downloaded from Goodreads, and I'm going to copy all of the cells here that have information in them, just not the header row that has the titles. I'll then move back to the Inspiration Library tool, and then in this column, column H, under the GR quote ID or Goodreads quote ID, I'm going to highlight this cell and then just paste in the text from this other worksheet, just like so. And you'll see that automatically the quote is formatted and any special weird characters that may be in there have been removed. Another added benefit here is you can also add ratings anywhere from 1 to 5 stars. So I could give this 1 star, this 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you'll see that the star ratings here on the left will update based on what you put. You can even use half-star ratings 3.5 or 4.5. I also added a search feature where you can just type any word in this cell at the very top of the column. I'll type the word little because I saw that in a couple of quotes, and it will put a yes or a Y in any row where that word occurs. If you want, you can then just filter this list based on the Ys and just get all of the quotes that had that word in it filtered for you. When you're done, you can just unfilter the list by selecting all and leave the word there, or delete it if you'd like, and replace it with something different. And that's it. There's so much more that we can do with this list. If you'd like to hear more, please let me know in the comments, because I could go on for ages talking about ways that we can work with these quotes and do some really cool things with this spreadsheet. In the meantime, go like some more quotes, export them, build yourself a huge list, and that way you'll never be at a loss for what to write again. I'd love to know if you give either or both of these approaches a try, and if it helps make your practice sessions more fun. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please like and subscribe to support me and the channel, and check out blackletterfreebies.com to get all the free stuff I mentioned today and a bunch more. Thanks again, and have an awesome day. I just realized I haven't been recording the audio this whole time. I just realized I haven't been recording the audio this whole time. Okay, I guess that was take one.